Hello, all you beautiful, wonderful, amazing, spectacular tea people. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff today. And in front of me, I have four little bowls of the exact same tea. The exact same tea, four little bowls. This one here has not been roasted. This is Maucha unfinished tea. We'll talk about that. This is being roasted right now. This is this tea, but it's being roasted right now. This tea right here has gone through about 2 days. Oh, no. This tea, sorry. This tea is Maucha, unfinished tea. This tea right here is the stuff that we've been selling on the site. It's gone through 1 day of roast, right? So it's gone through 1 day of roast. This tea right here just went through 1 full day of roast. So we'll compare these two. I'm curious about it. And then this one here has gone through 2 days of roast so far. And they're all the exact same tea. It's the Mare's Alishan Oolong. And what we're going to do today is we're going to go through them. We're going to take a look at the difference between them. We're going to talk about tea roasting. And I'll give you sort of an update as to what I think will happen with these teas and how far I'm going to take them. And I don't actually know how far I'm going to take them, but there will be different. Somebody asked me a question. They said, there's going to be different layers of roast or different roast levels on your teas. And the answer is absolutely 100% there will be. Will I release them? That is left to see. That is left to see. But anyways, we're going to be drinking a lot of the same tea today. So we got all of these same teas, and we're going to be drinking a lot of the same tea here. But we have other things to talk about before we get to the tea. So we've launched these teas. They are now sitting there getting ready, opening up. But we got other things to talk about. First things first, thank you, everybody. There's a bunch of people who have sent me messages. It is very, 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 very strange. I grew up in Toronto, Canada. I spent my early years traveling around Canada. Oh, there's a beautiful butterfly flying around my head there. And I'm not used to where I live to be in the news so much. Now, hopefully you guys can hear it, but hopefully maybe for the YouTube it might be a little bit overwhelming, but hopefully because I got these things on the top here for the sound, it should be fine for the people here. But as you can see, it's still raining, right? It's still raining. And there's been probably the biggest typhoon for certainly 4 or 5 years. I mean, you should go and take a look at the pictures of it. It hasn't hit Hong Kong yet, or it is, I guess, hitting Hong Kong right now. And it is massive. And this thing came and it sort of swirled around. Like, here's Taiwan, it went, and here's the Philippines. And it went like this, and it swirled through. And as it swirled through, right, it went like this, swirled through, and then it sent a bunch of rain up to the east coast of Taiwan here. So we've been getting rain for the last 2 days. And that rain has been, well, like I said, I mean, it's so strange living in a place that makes the news about once, on average, about once a year. About once a year, I flick open the BBC and I'm like, oh, hey, I know that place. And so what's happened the last couple of years? Well, of course, we had the various earthquakes, various typhoons, various other things like that. And what happened recently, and again, thank you for all the people who have sent messages asking, are you okay? Are you? Yes, we're totally fine. What happened was up in the mountains further south, unfortunately in between here and the tea growing area further south, there is up in the mountains, there was the landslides had created a dam, and the dam came down, and the dam got a bunch of water up above, and they couldn't do anything about it, right? Because it's so high up in the mountains. And so for the last about a year or so, this dam has been filling up with water. Everybody's been worried about it breaking open. And then this typhoon, again, didn't hit Taiwan, right? Taiwan, the Philippines is like this. It went in between the two, and now it's going sort of towards Hong Kong. It's an extraordinarily dangerous storm. And it broke the dam. And so that all that water rushed through, and it rushed through twice. So once in 2 in the afternoon, once in 4 in the afternoon, it rushed through and it basically took out this massive bridge, and then it went around and flooded a town. And the town is Guangfu. Now, Guangfu, there's nothing really there. It's not really. There's obviously people who live there, but it's not really a raging metropolis. And as far as I know, there was a couple of people that were killed in various circumstances. I don't think it was from floodwater. I think there's still a couple of people missing, but it could have been much worse. It wasn't that bad, but it was very, 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 very isolated to just that spot. So just that spot, just the Guangfu area, that's where the bad stuff happened. And the bad stuff is pretty bad. It's pretty bad in the context that there's not a lot of bridges across that section of Taiwan going south in the Great Rift Valley. There's not a lot of typhoon, not a lot of bridges, and because there's not a lot of bridges, that bridge that it took out was a massive, huge bridge, and so I was thinking about going back to doing tea tours. Can't go back and do tea tours, not for a long time, because how I would do tea tours would be starting in Hualien and going across that bridge. And so no tea tours. But, well, I won't talk about it yet, but I might be able to find a place to serve tea in Hualien, like the perfect place, the absolute perfect place for mountain stream teas to set up shop in Hualien. And so if I can pull this off, if I can do this, and I might be able to, then there will be a place for people. If you make it to Taiwan, we can drink tea together. That's not my house and my back porch. But you can see behind me there, the rain is coming through. I kind of wanted to show you in the YouTube. You can sort of see it, but not really. At the end of this, I might actually do like a zoom in to actually show you what's happening in the mountains right now. So all the mountains behind me there, there's rivers and waterfalls. And when there's this much rain, the waterfalls become huge so that you can actually see them from here. And so I kind of like, I'll see if I can zoom in and show you those waterfalls. But for the moment, we can jump in here, and what we will do is, excuse me, what we'll do is we'll start drinking this tea, and we'll talk about this tea. But thank you everybody for your messages. The Mountain Stream Teas family is marked safe. I don't know whether they still do that anymore, but we are marked safe from what happened to Guangfu. And it's a tragedy. They kind of knew it was coming, though, so they got most of the people out of the way. And hopefully they'll be able to fix it up and get it back going. It was an isolated event. Let's jump in. What do we got? The Mayor's Alishan Oolong. This is the stuff, the Mao Cha, the stuff that's unfinished. This is the stuff that I've been selling all year so far to this point. This has gone through 8 hours of roasting, and this one here has gone through 2 days of roasting, and we'll talk about what I'm doing with this and what I'm going to be doing with all of these teas going forward, seeing what we can do. Let's talk about what the tasting points are right now and the difference between them. Let's get going. Now, Mayor's Alishan Oolong, of course, is the favorite of many because of the price point. Some people really enjoy it because of the story, which if anybody out there doesn't know the story, then throw it in the comments and I'll talk about the story of why it's called the Mayor's Alishan Oolong. But this is a tea that basically for relationship, guanxi, and face reasons, I can get at a really, really good price. And I sell it at a really, really good price because I really dislike people that gouge customers and gatekeep teas. But here we go. So this is from the Alishan area, like the real Alishan area. And this is the Mao Cha, the unfinished tea. What makes a Mao Cha? A Mao Cha means that it is done, it is dried, but it is not finished. How do you finish a tea? Basically, you finish a tea by roasting it, by putting it through the roaster. Story time, please. Okay, I'll do the story. You put it through a roaster, and you put the last little bit, and you really try and get rid of. You pull out all of the. The last moisture, and you put your own little bit on it. Now, I apologize, YouTube. It's probably going to be tough for you here, but how's the sound for the Instagram? Is the Instagram sound okay? The rain is coming through. I mean, it's a beautiful sound, but it might be a little tough to hear on the YouTube because I don't have the sound coming through. But this tea is Instagram's good, awesome. Thank you. It's Alishan. It's a Jinzhen. It's an Alishan milk oolong. You sound great. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. And it's this garden that it's about 900 meters above sea level. And you can see I'm drinking this. It's unfinished tea, but it's still got a lot of that springtime freshness to it, and it's really nice. And it's got... You guys sure it's okay? Now, it won't last long. But this is typhoon weather. So you go from it being sunny, bright, warm, just a touch of breeze, to cats and dogs and other pets. And it just goes constantly. Like, it's just insane. It just goes like this. And then it only lasts for a minute or two, and then it's gone again. And this area where we are, I hear rain, but you still sound great. Awesome. Hey, we're good to go. This it makes it. It's atmospheric, yes. Well, romantic, langman. And so the poor bees are not that happy, but they're okay. The girls will be okay. And it is this area that's not the highest region. It's about a 30-minute drive through winding roads away from the really sort of, as a crow flies, it's not far, but those roads up there from the really touristy area of Alishan. And there's a guy there who was the mayor of this region, for lack of a better way of describing what he was. And I found him because going in that area, it's awful. I hate it. Because that area has the most nasty, proud, awful people selling tea. Because up there, it's Alishan, they can make 50% more. See, it's gone. Like, the rain is gone. It'll probably come back again. But anyways, the people up there are nasty because they spray the hell out of their teas just to get the yield up because they can sell it for more. They don't care what you think or what you want. If you ask them, is this organic? They say, just leave. They are nasty, awful people in general in that area, like really nasty, awful people in general in that area, in that sort of in the Alishan area. You got to really be really careful. If you go to the Alishan area and visit, you got to be really careful because they're nasty. And I went there, and I was there late in the evenings, and I was talking to some people, and I was like, "Oh, do you have this?" And they were so rude. Excuse me. And this never happens in Taiwan, right? Excuse me. This never happens in Taiwan, but they were so rude that I got into a yelling, screaming match on the side of the road with these people. It was like about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, sun's going down, because they were just so rude. They were so nasty. And then I went to another place after I got into the screaming fight with these people on the side of the road. And I don't get into screaming fights with people on the side of the road very often, but these people were just nasty. And And then I went to this other place and they were slightly nicer, but I drank their tea and I started getting a headache by smelling it. I had one sip. I'm like, I need clean tea. And they're like, okay, 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 okay. And then they sent me to the mayor and I showed up to the mayor's place. And the mayor was this guy who was I guess he's in his 70s now. He's sort of been the mayor, sort of the politician of this area for years and years and years. And I met him and I bought a bunch of his tea because it was clean and it was cheap. And the reason that he did it was because it was a face thing. I got sent from another place because they needed clean tea and he had clean tea. And so I bought a bunch of his clean tea. And so I started this relationship with the mayor. Now, I bought some of his tea, but what happened afterwards is he went to jail. And the reason he went to jail is because he got caught buying votes. Now, he's part of the generation where they just bought votes. It wasn't like a big deal. You just, democracy came to Taiwan and he was an old school guy and he just bought votes. But he got caught. And so he went to jail. And so I couldn't buy tea from him for a couple of years. Now, I've been able to buy tea from him now. So interesting, the difference between the two. I'll talk about the difference between these two in a second. Again, this was Mao Cha. This just came out of the bag. And this here is a beautiful tea that I have that's being sold right now. And these are the two roasting on the roaster right now teas. Or this one's on the roaster right now. Sorry, these have already been roasted. And I went back to see him and he was a little bit less happy. I guess last year I could buy tea from him again, but he was doing pretty well. And I'm really happy to keep the relationship. He's a very nice guy. And, I'm anti-political, mostly because anyways, we won't talk about it, but, and so for me, something like that, I don't care. He tests his tea. I've tasted his tea. I know the difference between clean tea and he offers great tea that I can so happily and wonderfully share at a great price. And so I went back to see him. He was doing okay. I bought a bunch of his tea. This year I bought another bunch of his tea. And so I'm able to keep this relationship. And that's why we can offer this like really good, clean Alishan milk oolong for a really, really affordable price. This tea, this standard of tea, this quality of tea from this area sells for double, triple the price anywhere else. And you just got to be careful when you're doing this stuff. Because that other stuff, that horrible chemical slop that a lot of the gardens in that area sell, they'll sell it to you and they'll make a quick buck off of you, because if you don't know the difference and you're buying the bad stuff. I will not name names unless they come after me, and then I would. But I don't know if you guys have noticed, but anyways, the people that are in sort of the tea industry or follow it, I leave them alone. They leave me alone. There's drama every once in a while. You can see the drama, but I sure as hell stay the hell away from everybody. I do not want the drama. Why roast a tea? Now, I've had time on my hands, so I'm roasting tea. I'm also, if you go on the site, there's actually blog posts. I'm writing blog posts again for the first time in years. And so there's blog posts on the site. If you want to go to the site, you can check out the blog posts. They're being written. I'm also writing a book. I'm like 2 chapters in, sort of. Anyways, I got the outline of the book, and so I'm going to be writing a book. I'll probably do a post about the book at some point, but I am writing the book. And so I've been thinking about this stuff and sort of writing about this stuff the last little while. And 2 main reasons to roast a tea. You have really crappy tea and you got to roast it so you can sell it. And then people will buy it because it's a crappy tea. But it tastes like roast. And they'll be like, oh, I can taste the roast. So they buy the tea. The second one is you have somebody who knows what they're doing and they add complexity, depth, and beautiful, beautiful, beautiful taste to the tea. And that's what I'm trying to do here. And it's really, really hard. It's really, really hard. I have an electric roaster. That's what I'm going to do. What's the book about? The book is, I'm probably going to call it The Accidental Tea Master, but basically it's a love letter to Taiwanese teas. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about Taiwanese tea culture, modern Taiwanese tea culture. I'm going to talk about how I got into Taiwanese tea, and then I'm going to talk about how it has changed since I've been in the business, where I think it's going to go into the future, and then I'm going to use case studies of my friends to write a chapter